Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I ain't made a video in quite some time. I've been I've been rolling. I've been putting down some miles, man, and uh, making some pretty good money. Lord has blessed me this last month and a half, that's for sure, and I'm not gonna complain. But anyways, this video is going to basically be about is truck driving for you, and should you do truck driving. Um, if you have anybody out there that is considering truck driving, or you trying to talk someone into getting their truck driving, um, show them this video. It might be a little long, um, because I don't know how to do short videos. I try to give as much information as I can. Um, and the reason why I come about this video is because, some of these places we go, you hit the dock and you'll talk to the dock worker and stuff like that. And, they'll ask you how much money you make if you like truck driving and stuff like that. And you tell them the money you make. And some of them people, their jaws drop and they're like, man, you make more in a week down to a month, and, stuff like that. And, you know, it's all in what you want to do in life. But my thing is I didn't graduate high school. I dropped out in the 10th grade, um, and I got my GED years down the road. Um, but I still was able to find odd and end jobs, do jobs and stuff like that, and I worked out of town and stuff like that. And my dad was always a truck driver. My dad started truck driving when I was like 7. I was like 7 years old when he started truck driving. He worked in a mill, because he had me and my brother and my sister super young. So he's had kids since he was 16 years old. And, he dropped out of high school and went to work because he had to back then. Um, and he chose to get his CDL when he turned 22, I think. He was 22 when he got his CDL, and it changed his life, um, for the better. Um, and the same thing with me. I was doing contract work. I was working for myself. I was doing cabling and stuff, and I'd be super busy for a couple of months, and then I couldn't have anything to do for a couple of weeks, and when you get bored, you spend money that you shouldn't be spending, and that's what was happening. So I got tired, and I got a regular job working in a warehouse, and found out real quick warehouse work is not for me. You got certain times you take breaks. You get looked at or fussed at if you use the bathroom too much. People who smoke, you can only smoke when uh, on your breaks, and you can only eat a pack of nabs or something like that when it's your break time, and all this other stuff. And it just wasn't for me, man. Some people like that consistency. They like knowing, hey, I gotta be at work at 7, I get a break at 9, for 15 minutes, and I get a 30-minute or an hour lunch break at 12, and I get off at 3 or 5 o'clock, and I'm going to do the same thing, you know, next week. I'm going to push this button, and this is going to happen, or I'm going to use this forklift and move this here. Some people like doing the same thing every day, day in and day out, and some people ain't built like that. I'm not built like that, and I found out real quick because I only worked in that warehouse for 4 days. I came in on a Friday, and they were sitting there talking about the game plan for the day, and I stood up and grabbed my book bag, and they said, "Where you going, Brandon?" I said, "I'm going to run up here to the bathroom real quick." They said, "Oh, okay." I walked right past the bathroom, walked out, and never looked back. And 2 weeks later, I went and got my CDL learner's permit. And after that, I went to a truck driving school and started truck driving ever since then, man. And it changed my life. Um, I've been truck driving for right at 10 years now. It'll be 10 years this November. Um, what I would be doing now, I'm not sure. I probably would have got back into cabling or something along them lines. But if you're tired of working a dead end job, or you're tired of, you know, having the supervisor or somebody look over top your shoulder the whole time, and what are you doing? Why are you taking a break? Or you can't eat that pack of nabs, or you can't have that coffee at your desk, or well, whatever the case may be. I mean, if you're tired of that and you want to do something where you didn't go to college, because I didn't go to college. I make more money than a lot of people I went to high school with that went to college for 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah, I make way more money than they do. My lifestyle's a lot better than theirs are, you know. So you don't have to go to college to make a good living. I'm not suggesting no one not go to college. Don't get me wrong. But there's so much more stuff out there to do, you know, trades work, you know, you can be, you know, welding, plumbing, construction, masonry work, you know, there's so much other work out there that's in demand that, you know, kids these days and young adults that, you know, they're afraid to get dirty, or they want to wear a suit and tie, or they want to do nothing and be given all this money, you know. But you know, there's things out there, and you know, I chose truck driving, and I had a motorcycle at the time, and I sold my motorcycle to pay for my monthly bills, pay for my bills for the month. You know, I sold my motorcycle for $5,500. Took that $5,500 and I made it stretch, man. I made it stretch. I pinched a dollar out of a penny. um, and that's what I did to get into truck driving. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. There is no lack of jobs out there. You know, if you get with a company, 6 months is the roughest part of becoming a truck driver, because you got to go through school, or if you know someone that has a truck and lets you use their truck to take the DOT test or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. But your first 6 months in the industry is usually the tough, because you got to take a shit job. You know, you got to run for Snyder or Swift or something like that, getting paid 28-30 cents a mile, you know, if you're lucky, and they want you gone for 14 days and home for 2 days and gone for another 14 days, and you know, but you gotta look at the fact is those first 6 months will set you up for a lifetime. You know, it'll set you up for a lifetime, and that's for sure, and it did for me. I went to truck driving school. I was able to pass it my first time around, my first, you know, road test and all that. And I passed it, and then a week and a half later, I was on the way to Charlotte, North Carolina to drive for Snyder. And I was pulling a Dollar General account. And that place, they paid you, at the time, like I said, this was 9 years ago. At the time, the pay was like 28 cents a mile, and then for every store you stopped at doing Dollar Generals, I think you got paid $25 or something like that. You know, so I'd be gone for a whole week, and you know, I was taking out advancements. So by the time I got my paycheck, I was gone away from home all week and only made, you know, $500, $600, you know, so it was rough for 6 months. and then I wind up. I I caught myself trying to be smart. Thought I was gonna be smart, so I wind up switching to 7 on 7 off with Snyder, where they would let you work for 7 days and you'd be off 7 days. And I did that for a while. Um, and my 7 days off, I would do like odd and end jobs. I found a nursery that like grows trees and plants and stuff like that. They needed a truck driver. They wanted to pay under the table, and so I did that on my 7 days off. So I'd make $600 doing that, and I was home every day. You know, riding around delivering trees and stuff on a tractor trailer. And then I wound up getting on with a waste company. Well, in that waste company, I learned a lot more. I was there for 3 years, and then after that, I got on with Estes Express, and I stayed there for 4 years. 5 years. I stayed on there for 5 years, and then I decided to buy my own truck. And Estes, man, Estes was a good company as far as pay wise. It could be a little aggravating doing P&D work. You know, you never know what time you're getting off. You know, one day you might get off at 4 o'clock. One day you might get off at 9 o'clock at night, and then you still have to be back at work at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning again. You know, so it was kind of aggravating. You know, I sat down one day and I ran the time and the numbers and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm working more doing this local job than I was working over the road. But it's still good money. It was good money. I started off at Estes at $21.50 an hour, and it was like a 52-cent raise every 6 months. You get a 52-cent raise. In 3 years, you was at your top pay. But every year they came out with a pay increase. So when I left Estes, I was making $28.35 an hour is what I was making. But like I said, this video is, if you want to be, if you're tired of that dead end job and you want to do something else and you think you might like truck driving, just know that your first 6 months is going to be rough. But just look at the fact is you didn't go to college, and if you would have went to college, you would have done college for 2, 3, 4 years. So that 6 months is actually going to be equivalent to your 4 years that you would have done in college. You'd make just as much money eventually. And you won't have all that student loan debt and all that other stuff. Because I wasn't in debt. I wasn't in debt when I started truck driving. So a lot of people who get into truck driving are not really in debt per se. But as far as like job security, man, I don't think there's any other. I was riding down the road and I was thinking to myself, I mean, there's nothing else out there that I can think of that has as much job security as truck driving does. As long as you keep your driver's license clean, it doesn't matter. There's somebody out there that's going to hire you. Because I actually got in an argument with my boss at Estes, and this is what made it felt so good, knowing where I done got in my career as truck driver. I got in an argument with my boss man, and I looked at my boss man dead in his eyes, and I told him, I said, well, what do you want to do, Charles? I said, if you want to fire me, fire me. I was like, just like I know, I'll have another job before I get back into town. And town, where I lived was 45 minutes away from the terminal. And I was like, I'll have another job. It may not be what I want, but it will be something to pay my bills until I find what I want. And, it's just a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling knowing that you don't have to stay at that company. You can, you got guys out here that hop around company to company to company because one place pays a cent more than the other one, or this one, does this and that. But a lot of places they leave because they get more home time, or the pay is better versus the home time. It's one of the two. Either they want better pay or they want more home time. Um, but as far as job security, man, I never had to worry about anything because I had all my endorsements. I got my tanker, my doubles and triples, my hazmat, um, and I wound up getting my TWIC card, just for shits and giggles, just so I could say I had my TWIC card. So there's no company out there that wouldn't hire me. There's no company at all that wouldn't hire me. And you can get yourself in that situation. You can get yourself in that same situation that I'm 32 years old. I'm a 32-year-old high school dropout that never went to school, never went to college. And I'm in the predicament now. I can choose where I want to work, as far as the career that I'm in. You can line up 100 trucking companies, and I get to pick which one I want to pull for, and that's a good feeling versus, some of these people that didn't go to college or, did whatever, or even they did go to college, they want to work for this law firm, or they want to work for this hospital, or they want to work for, whatever the case may be, or they want to work with this company and be this HR person. They got to put in that application, and then they got to fight for that position, and, may or may not get it. Me and a lot of other truck drivers out here, they get to pick and choose what they want to do. You got people fighting to get you. They'll give you these sign-on bonuses. They'll give you so many days off. They give you referral bonuses. They give you all kind of incentives to get you to come to them. Because they want you to pick them over these other companies. And that's the kind of industry this is. And I know it took 17 minutes to get to that part, but I just wanted to give you, some backsight of where I came from. And, you get yourself in that situation, take 6 months out of your life to set you up for a lifetime. You don't ever have to worry about finding another job. You don't ever have to worry about if your boss man pisses you off, or he does you wrong, or they do you wrong. You can quit. You can quit that job and go get another job. There's no waiting. There's no, well, I gotta stay here because there's nobody else in town hiring this and that. There's no more of that crap. There's no more of that bullshit or that worrying or anything like that. The only thing that you're going to run into is being comfortable. You're already here with this company. And that was when I was at that waste company, when I left Snyder and went to the waste company, First Piedmont. First Piedmont was a great company, man. I loved First Piedmont. And they didn't pay good, And sometimes you'll kind of learn some of the best companies out there are probably some of the companies that don't pay the best. But like, if I needed a day off, no questions asked. Yeah, Brandy, you can take the day off. Ain't no problem. No fussing, no fighting, no, let me check or anything like that. Yeah, you can take it off. Take it off. And you got 8 hours of sick pay. I got 8 hours of sick pay every month. Every month you get 8 hours of sick pay. Whether you use it or not, you get to accumulate it. And when I left, man, I had 38 hours or 37 and a half hours or something like that, because I used some halftime or something like that because I didn't feel good, so I left. So they didn't use the full 8 hours. But I had all them hours saved up, for sick pay goes. And then your vacation, you had your vacation, and then the holidays come around. You could either work your holiday and get paid double time, or you could work the holiday and save that holiday as a vacation day, as another personal day, or whatever you want to do. And then, or you could just take the day off. Like I said, and I got so comfortable there. I knew everything. I did what I wanted to do, uh, all that good stuff. Um, and I got comfortable. And even though I wasn't making nothing, I mean, I was making all right, but I was working 60 hours a week there. Um, but like I said, I was comfortable. I liked the fact that if I wanted to take a day off, I could take a day off without no fussing and fighting, um, or wheeling and dealing, or if I took this day off, I'd have to work Saturday, or I'd have to work Sunday, or whatever the case may be. Um, but I'm glad I left ST's. First Piedmont went to ST's because the money was just such a significant amount of difference. I'd make more in 1 week than I would almost 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks at First Piedmont. If that tells you anything. Um, and the insurance wasn't all that great at First Piedmont, but I haven't been there in years, so I don't know if they changed the stuff and whatnot. But that'd be the biggest thing that you'll run into, is that you'll get comfortable where you are and you don't want to try anything else. But as far as you get in an argument with the boss, or the boss man makes you mad, or whatever the case may be, you don't have to worry about finding another job, because there's hundreds of other trucking jobs out there that people will pay you, and they will incentivize you to come work for them. And you can ride down the road. You don't have to have that guy watching over your shoulder. If you want to pull over and take a nap, you can pull over and take a nap. You want to stop and get something to eat, or whatever the case may be, you can do all that. Now, yeah, granted, you got to have that load at the shipper at this time, but whatever you do between here and there, that's entirely up to you, as long as you're there at this time. You can stop as much as you want. You can stop and eat as much as you want. You can stop and nap as much as you want. Whatever you want to do, you can do. And there's nobody going to be fussing at you. No one's going to be, oh, you got to hurry up and get moving. As long as you know that you're going to be at that shipment or delivery on time, that's all they care about. And then you're driving safe. That's all that matters. So if you want to change your life, man, I'm gonna tell you, that's one of the best decisions I made, is listen to my dad and get my CDL. I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. I think I was 25 when I finally got my CDL. No, 23. 23. Yeah, I was 23 when I got my CDL. I can't remember. It feels like it's been forever. But yeah, man, it's I don't know if I haven't really seen a whole lot of videos out there about, is truck driving right for you? Like I said, those first 6 months are going to be rough, but just know those first 6 months, it's going to set you up for a lifetime. A lifetime. And what's that worth? To me, it's priceless, knowing that I'm not stuck at this job. I'm here by choice. And especially like some of these small towns, man. Some of these small towns that have like 1 or 2 factories, and people go in as soon as they get out of high school and they stay until they retire. It's hard to get on with those places, and I see it. And especially the places I go and pick up at, people said, man, they try to get on at this place for so long and blah, blah, blah. And, because people who come here, they come here and they retire and they don't leave, And so, like I said, especially if you're in a small town somewhere and you don't want to drive an hour and a half to go to a job, because you're spending 2-3 hours in a car going back and forth to work, every day. Even if you don't have to be at work till 7, well, you get the hour and a half drive. You got to leave the house at 5:30. That means you got to get up at 5 and gives you 30 minutes to get dressed and brush your teeth and all that and hit the door. And that wasn't for me. And I know that's not for a lot of people. Um, so if you are thinking about getting into truck driving and you're comfortable um, with being gone for a little while for your first 6 months, then I say go for it, man. You crazy not to give it a shot at least? Now, like if you're one of these people who don't like driving, don't do it, because it's what it is. It's driving. It's nothing for me. I don't know if you hear the scratching in my voice, but like I worked all last night. Drove all night long, man, from 7:15 last night until 6:30 this morning, and yeah, I'm gonna do it again tomorrow because the money's good. The money is damn good right now. The Lord blessed me with this account that I got on. And I was able to tell my dad about it because my dad wound up going and getting his own truck also. And my dad, he's 52 now. He's 52. He's ready to dwindle down. He's tired of being a company man. He wants to work when he wants to work and take it easy because, like I say, he's been working since he was 15 years old, man. So he's tired of answering to somebody, and which you're always going to have to answer to somebody, but you know what I mean as far as like being a company guy. But if you got any questions, man, or if you need any help, because a lot of states, workforces will pay for you to go to truck driving school. And there's been a couple of people I've talked to and told them, because that's how I was able to do it. They didn't pay all of it. They paid some of it because I chose to go to a different truck driving school. But a lot of your community colleges and stuff like that have like a trucking program. If you go talk to your workforce, a lot of workforces will pay for your truck driving school. And there's a lot of truck driving companies out there that will pay for you to get your CDL through them. I know Prime does it. I think Swift does it. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody talks and jokes and kids and talks trash about Swift, but everybody's got to start somewhere, man. If I couldn't have got on, when I come out of truck driving school, I didn't care what I was doing as long as I was making money. I just got on at Snyder before I did Swift. Snyder called and said, we'll give you this sign-on bonus and we'll send you down and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of places that will pay, even if you go take out a loan or whatever it is, truck driving. Some of these truck driving schools have like financing programs and stuff. You get on with a company after that, they will reimburse you for your truck driving school. So even when you come out of truck driving school, if you're doing the financing program, they'll actually, besides you making the payments, this company will pay you, an extra $150 a month or $200 a month for driving for them for your truck driving school. So you're not actually paying them. The company you're driving for is paying them. But like I said, man, it's your decision at the end of the day. Am I glad I did it? No. I'm mad that I didn't do it sooner. That's what I mean to say. I wish I would have done it when I was 21. When I was 21 and I was able to get my CDL and hit the road, I wish I would have done it then, because there ain't no telling how further. I probably would have started doing my own thing, my own owner-operated thing, 3 years sooner. But anyways, enough rambling on. We're hitting 30-minute mark. If you got any questions, it might take me a minute to get back to you, because sometimes YouTube will send me a notification, let me know that someone commented, and sometimes it'll go a week without telling me. Anyways, I hope the best for you, man. Be safe out there, and good luck to you.